Maximum Pelt has been something that's been in existence in a very non-official form for the past 7, 8 years. I started releasing a lot of stuff under that name when I was younger, and it was mainly just solo stuff, or sometimes I'd play with other musicians, but it was mainly solo stuff. And it was just a name to throw on, like, the CDRs that I'd make and stuff like that and pass out at shows. And it just kind of stuck, really, like, as my bands got more serious over time and like I progressed as a musician, I like really got interested in the concept of self-releasing and kind of the DIY aspect of it, just like all that stuff. And the name was still good, so now it's a little bit more of an official sense. I mean, not in any sort of legal way, I guess, but it's more real now. Cassettes are very cool to me. I like the sound a lot better than, like the hard digital compression you get off of a CD. I'll take the little bit of hiss tone. It kind of adds like a nice warm ambient sound to it, and you get a lot better like mid-tone range off of a cassette than you would off of a CD. And I've always been recording off of onto cassettes anyways. Even though I put out CDRs as a kid, like I was always doing 4-track recordings and experimenting with stuff like that. So there's that aspect of it, and then there's also like just to put out something that's cost effective or cheap, and make it look like nice and like a piece of art. Like cassette's definitely the way to go. Like you can put out a cheap CD, but you're gonna wind up writing on the CD in Sharpie, and like that just looks bad. With cassettes, like it's so easy to get like a sheet of stickers that you can stick on there, and you can put them in your printer, or you can spray paint them. Like I do a lot of spray paint art on my cassettes, or it's like pennies more to get them printed on, like, and it just looks so much nicer as a package. And there's also this idea that I have that like CDs in this day and age kind of debase the idea of music in general, because I mean, to be honest, when you buy a CD at a store nowadays, you don't like run right home and pop it in your CD player and you're like so excited to hear it. You probably run right home and put it into your computer and put it onto your iTunes and then onto your iPod, and then you can take it anywhere. And like the idea of listening to music becomes like a whole different concept at that point, when you're just using it to like accentuate your trip, like like, oh, I'm getting on the train, so I have to have my iPod with me, or like I'm going to ride my bike, and so I need to listen to music. But then you're not really focused on the idea of the music in the first place. When you get a cassette or a record in the same way, you go home and like you're pretty much forced to listen to it on like a media player that's right there. I mean, I know that there's Walkmans, but that's a thing of the past, and most people aren't walking around with them nowadays. But you go home and you sit down and you put it in, and then you listen to it, and it's like this experience that you have where you actually are listening to music, and you immerse yourself in the experience a lot more. That's the original artwork for the CD release of that. I'm not like personally the best like illustrator, like actually does like drawing stuff, but I do a lot of. I worked for a printing company for a couple of years, and this printing company during my employment there moved and subsequently threw out a ton of stuff, which is now in my possession, and I just have like boxes and boxes and boxes of art supplies. So I've made weird jackets just like out of wrapping stuff, and like just like various like textured materials. And actually the first like 8 releases I did were they weren't in boxes, they were in slip covers. Like I used like heavy paper, and I'd like glue like a sleeve together. Some of the artwork was done by me. I did draw some of it. Some of it is like found materials and stuff like that. And some of it is other friends, like the violin player in Snacks has done a good deal of artwork for Maximum Pelt. The cover of the Snacks album was a zine I found at a party, and it was this artist John Malta. It was really great. And I'd never heard of him before. I just found a zine, and I was flipping through it, and there's this excellent picture. It was like perfect for the cover of the Snacks tape, and I just had to, like, I emailed him. I was like, we really want to use your image. What do you want for it? And he's like, oh, just send me a tape. Like, it's all good. I think that it's going to go the way that, like, I mean, you look at like maybe like craft beer is a good example, because craft beer is also in vogue right now, but I think it started a little bit, it's been going on for a little bit longer now, where like the craft beer thing has been rising. And I mean, it seems like there's going to be a lot of people who throw their hat into it, and it's all the cassette people I've met have been very well intentioned and rad people. a lot of people are going to throw their hat into it, and then they're going to, you know, the people who put out the best tapes or who are the most serious about it are eventually going to grow and become, like, I guess, like mid-level labels like Kozak or Burger or stuff like that. We made the stamp for the word out of a sweet potato that our violin player carved.